I'm Nic Harcourt, and Patti Smith brings her band to the Wiltern in Los Angeles on Wednesday, September 7th. And lucky me, I get to welcome Patti to the morning show and our 88.5 Here at Home series to catch up. Patti, it's been a while since we last spoke, but I have great memories of the couple of times you came on my old show. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Yes, it was a great time when you came to radio stations in person, and it wasn't there was a lack of programming, which I think was really great. But yeah, anyway, good to see you again, even virtually.
Yeah.
Good to hear your voice.
So back on the road again, as the great Willie Nelson says, and I know you've got a few dates out west around the Wilton date, including Pappy and Harriet in Pioneertown on the 14th as well. And you were in Europe not that long ago in June and July, performing some pretty big sold-out shows. How were the shows? How was it being back in Europe again? I know you were there a little bit at the end of 21, but how is it being back out there?
Well, I mean, except for the excessive heat, it was anywhere between 97 and 102 degrees almost everywhere. That was very challenging, but I was really happy to be in Europe. I mean, I'm truthfully essentially a European artist. I do most of my work in Europe, and it was fantastic. Even with the heat, the people were so responsive. We had some of our biggest concerts. Our biggest concert in Berlin for like 10,000 people, and we played in Pompeii. We played, all over the place. We played at the London Palladium. The people were so welcoming, and yeah, it was exciting. It was just regretful that it was hard to travel about in the day or do the exploring that I like to do because of the excessive heat. We successfully got through our jobs. I don't have a lot of jobs to the end of the year because I basically, in 2022, am making up work that I committed to in 2020. So I've been trying to, fulfill former obligations. But I did want to play, had to go to the West Coast, and I love the Wiltern, and I just wanted to play there. I love the people of LA are always really exciting. I think sometimes they're more exciting than the concert. So they're my concert. So I'm really happy to do that. The job at Pappy's is on my late husband's birthday, and it's just my pianist, my son Jackson, and I. It's a smaller configuration, and we're going to honor Fred at Joshua Tree.
Wonderful.
And we'll certainly pre-honor him at the Wiltern. But I'm excited to come out west.
I know you were out here not that long ago, actually. You did a couple of smaller shows at the Ford. What was that like? That is just such a fantastic venue. I don't know if you played there before or not.
I think I might have played it in the 70s. I can't really remember. We did some jobs with Flea, right? It was just, again, Tony, Jackson, and I, and Flea. They were great. First of all, it's always great to play with Flea. I love doing all different kinds of configurations. Sometimes I just play with my daughter with just piano, and with the full band, or no matter what configuration. It's I love performing and have the same, I don't have any different way of addressing the people. I just walk on stage and we're all together.
I was going to ask about, have you been able to discern any difference in the post-pandemic audiences? Do you discern a difference in yourself?
Well, I mean, for me, the hardest part for myself personally is I like to interact with the people. I like to shake their hands, sometimes go out, leave the stage and dance with them, or be more tactile, shake everybody's hand or whatever. And that's not really, it's not prudent to do that. And so I miss that. And when I first came back, it was quite daunting. one thing I always tell, because I'm not big on lights, I just have lights, is to throw light on the people, at least the first few rows, so I can see them and get a sense of them. And because that's what I'm there for. So I've had to really work that out in my mind. Also, I spit a lot on stage, not because it's not like an old punk rock thing. It's because when I'm singing, I get a lot of spit in my mouth, and
Get
I
a lot
have
of crap in your mouth. Yeah.
spit in it. So I had to break myself of that habit. Obviously, that was really hard.
Oh, I can imagine.
But the people have been, the enthusiasm and support of the people has not diminished. In Europe, if anything, it seemed greater. I haven't really worked that much in America, but anything that we've done, the people have just, I feel them with us. I also feel a certain amount of trepidation or duality in people's thinking, especially some months ago. Should we really be all out here? Is this dangerous? Is this healthy? And so I try to take all of that in account. And what can I say? I mean, I go with every protocol, with every test protocol, with every masking protocol, with our shot protocol. But I also think we have to live. And but I really let sort of the majority make the decisions. If it's a decision that we're all going to wear masks, then we do. Backstage, we all wear masks. The crew wear masks. And again, I can't interact with the people the way I used to. I sort of, just because I'm quite popular in Italy, and I was so overwhelmed by young people, I sort of broke protocol, and because they all wanted to grab my hand and things like that. And I did, with all of my prudence, I did get COVID there. I'm not.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, and I navigated it well. I didn't get very sick. I got very, very tired for about 10 days, but I was again reminded that it's still with us. So I didn't mean to spend so much time on this, but it's certainly part of our re-entrance into, the workplace. And I just ask everybody to be prudent, make sure they drink a lot of water, strengthen your immune system. We have to go out into the world. So go out into the world healthy, and you have a better chance of navigating whatever your challenges are.
Yeah, it's a fine line between deciding that we need to live our lives and get outside of our houses, but at the same time show a little prudence, I guess. I was in Europe myself just a couple of weeks ago for the first time for a while. I went to see my mum over in England, and I was actually in Spain myself for some work. And it was really interesting watching how different places, different countries for that matter, navigate everything. Going into Spain, everybody had to wear masks. Going out of Spain on the planes, everybody had to wear masks. But then going across the Atlantic, it was kind of like a free-for-all. So it really does seem to be.
I have one protocol that I do whatever.
You stick with your own protocol. Me too.
Stick with my own, but they were more strict in Spain. And also you had to show proof of a booster shot. They were not strict at all in other countries. So in a way, it sort of messes with your head, but you have to keep, you just have to, make guidelines for yourself and follow them. And I feel that I'm also just glad to be back to work and playing with my people and playing, having more opportunity to play with my son and just see the people and see different architecture, see the cathedrals and the art and all of the things that different cities of the world offer us.
You mentioned that your son Jackson is playing in the band now. What does he bring to the group? Because everybody else that you've been playing with for a long time. I'm guessing there's a different energy. First of all, he's your son, but also he's younger.
Well, I mean, Jackson, it's not that he brings youth and stamina, because he's very much a man. He had to take the duties of a man at a very young age when his father died. And what I feel from Jackson is he's more of a virtuoso. He's a serious musician. He's not linked or locked to any genre. He can really play anything. And he's a very supportive musician. And there's so many different things. Sometimes he just does things that astound me. And other times he'll just take the role of just playing a supportive rhythm. And he reminds me very much of his father. Sometimes tonally, sometimes he does some improvisation or some solo, and I can hear the tones of his father's guitar, though Jackson never heard his father play guitar live. And but he's also he has a certain stoicness, but he's also generous on stage. He's very different than anyone I've played with. We often have, for years, we've had a fourth, a second guitarist, and or another guitarist. For a while, it was Tom Verlaine, it was Oliver Ray, it was Jack Petroselli and Andy York. But now Jackson has really taken the role, and quite seriously. But he is so diverse, and I'd like to give him the opportunity to do the things that he can do. And that's why I like also going out with these smaller configurations that are very Jackson oriented. And I'm at a time in my life, I'm going to be 76. I want to keep growing and trying new things. And I also want to shepherd the expansion of Jackson's opportunities.
The show at the Wiltern is the full band, though, right? And
yes,
it's the
yes.
first time you've had the full band in Los Angeles for a few years, I believe. I was talking to your tour manager yesterday, and he told me, it's the first time they've had the full band in LA for a few years.
Yes, and the first time with the full band with Jackson, I think in 2015, if I'm right, Jack Petroselli played with us. But all of our other guitar players have been great. But I have a special, of course, he's my son, but also just special regard for Jackson. And but I think it'll be great because we all thrive in LA. We sort of broke it. We were, we did our work in New York, but we sort of broke on the West Coast in America, and it means so much to us. That's what Ask the Angels, the song on Easter, not Easter, Radio Ethiopia, was a little salute to Los Angeles. So, whether it's been like, a club or the Roxy or, one of the great theaters, I'm always really happy to play LA.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, after we record this conversation, September 7th. At the Wiltern with the full band. And if you're out in the desert on the 14th with the stripped down band at Pappy and Harriet's in Pioneertown. It's great to talk to you. Thanks for being on the show, Patti.
Oh, thanks. It's nice to hear. We're both still here. We're both doing our work.
Exactly.
Thanks, Nick.